Welcome back to my Learn with Tony tutorials. We continue the simple algebra, 基本代數, lesson 8. In this lesson, we are talking about exponent rules. The first rule, x to the power n times x to the power m is equal to x to the power n plus m. The second rule, Quotient Rule, power rules. The fourth rule, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, and the eighth exponential rule. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please click the subscribe button and the bell as well. Now let's review these rules and do some exercise on them. Get ready with your paper, pencil, and calculator. Today we are going to talk about exponential rule of some exponential number, like 2 to the power of 5 or x to the power of n. We write these numbers like this: 2 to the power of 5. This means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 multiplied by itself 5 times. We multiply the base number 2, is called the base number, by the power of 5, means 5 times of itself. And this number 5, we call it its exponent number of the base number 2. For example, if we write x to the power of n, it means x times x times x to the n times. In conclusion, xn, the base number is x, and the power of x is n, or we call the exponent of x is n. Now we are going to talk about exponent rules. We have many exponent rules. The first one is the product rule. X to the power of n multiplied by x to the power of m is equal to x to the powers of n plus m. If we want to prove it, we put two numbers, 2 to the powers of 5 multiplied 2 to the power of 2. It means 2 multiplied by itself by 5 times and multiplies 2 by 2 times. And all together we have 2 multiplied by itself by 7 times. So it's equal to 2 to the power of 7. In this rule, we know that we multiply two exponential number with the base number is the same. We can add the power numbers together to come up the first rules of exponential. We call it the product rule. Secondly, the quotient rule. In the quotient rules, x to the power of n divided by x to the powers of n, we got x to the power of n minus m. Let's see an example. If we have 5 to the power of 3 over 5 to the power of 2, we have 5 multiplied by 5, and then 5 multiplied by 5. We cancel it out. We got 5 over 1 is equal to 5 to the powers of 1. So that 5 to the power of 3 over 5 to the power of 2 is equal to 5 to the power of 3 minus 2 equal to 5 to the power of 1. We got the second rules of exponential. We call it the quotient rule. First rule, the product rule. The second rule, the quotient rule. Okay, we go to the third rule, the power rule. If we have x to the powers of n all together to the powers of m is equal to the x to the powers of n multiplied by m. Let's see an example. If we have 2 to the power of 2 all together to the power of 3, we have 2 times 2 multiplied 2 times 2 3 times. We got 2 to the power of 6. We have proved that 2 to the power of 2 all together to the power of 3 is equal to 2 to the power of 2 times 3 equal to 2 to the power of 6. And this is called the power rule. The fourth rule is the power of 0. Any number x to the power of 0 is equal to 1, provided that x is not equal to 0. If we have 5 to the powers of 3 over 5 to the power of 3. With the quotient rule, we know that is equal to 5 to the power of 3 minus 3 is equal to 5 to the power of 0. And these two numbers is the same, divided by each other, we got the number 1. So 5 to the power of 0 is equal to 1. This is the power of 0 rule of the exponent rule. The fifth rule is the negative exponent rule. If we have x to the powers of minus n, of course x is not equal to 0. is equal to 1 over x to the powers of n. Let's see an example to prove it. If we have 5 to the power of minus 4 multiplied by 5 to the powers of 4, we have 5 to the power of minus 4 plus 4 is equal to 5 to the power of 0 is equal to 1. And if we divide each side by 5 to the power of 4, on the left hand side we cancel this out. We got 5 to the power of minus 4 is equal to 1 over 5 to the power of 4. That means x to the power of minus n equal to 1 divided by x to the power of n. We prove the negative exponent rule. The sixth exponent rule is the fractional exponent. That means if we have x to the power of 1 over n is equal to the square root x of n. For example, if we have 64 to the power of 1 over 3 is equal to the square root of 64. So it's equal to 4 to the power of 3 with the square root of 3. So it's equal to 4. If we have 9 to the power of 1 over 2 is equal to the square root of 9. If we have a square root of 9, we usually don't write these two numbers. So the square root of 9 is equal to square root of 3 to the power of 2 is equal to 3. This is the fractional exponent rule. And the seventh rule is that distribute an exponent over a product. If we have x multiplied by y to the power of n, we can express it as x to the power of n multiplied by y to the power of n. Let's see an example. If we have 2 times 3 to the power of 3 is equal to 2 times 3 multiplied by 2 times 3 multiplied by 2 times 3. We got 3, 2 here, so we can write 2 to the power of 3 multiplied by 3 to the power of 3. This is called the distribute an exponent over a product rule. And the eighth rule is that we can distribute an exponent over a quotient. For example, if we have x over y to the power of n, we can write x to the power of n over y to the power of n. Let's see an example. For example, 2 over 3 to the power of 2 is equal to 2 over 3 multiplied by 2 over 3. And we multiply two fraction number, the denominator 2 times 2 and the denominator 3 times 3. So it's equal to 2 to the power of 2 over 3 to the power of 2. And finally, we must be very careful. If we have a plus b to the power of n, it is not equal to a to the power of n plus b to the power of n. And if we have a minus b to the power of m, it's not equal to a to the power of m minus b to the powers of m. We must be very careful of the addition and the subtraction because we cannot distribute an exponent over an addition or subtraction. Okay, we got 8 rules here. We review the 8 rules. The first one is the product rule. The second one is the quotient rule. The third one is the power rule, power of 0, negative exponent, fractional exponent, distribute an exponent over products, distribute an exponent over a quotient. Now we are going to do some exercise for you to improve your skill in the exponent number. For example, if we want to simplify with exponent number, if we have 3x to the minus 2 over x to the minus 4, we can put this x to the minus 2 at the bottom. We change the sign from negative to positive. We have 3 over x to the power 4 multiplied by x to the power 2. So we have 3 over x to the power 6. We simplify this expression into a positive exponent number. And the second example, if we have 4y to the power 3 over y minus 5 is equal to 4y to the power 3, and we take the minus 5 from the bottom up to the top. We change the sign from negative to positive. We got y to the power of 5, so the answer is 4y to the power of 8. The third example, y power of 3 z power of 5 over 7 z power of minus 2 y power of 7. we take the y to the power of 3 down to the bottom, we got y minus 3. And z minus 2 to the top, we got z2. The top one is z to the power of 5, and the bottom one is 7 here, y to the power of 7. With the product rule, we know that z to the power of 2, z to the power of 5 is equal to z to the power of 7 over 7y to the power of 4. This is the answer. In example 4, if we have 25x to the power of 4, y minus 5 over x to the power of minus 6, y power of 3, all together to the power of 3 over 2. So we do the calculation of the bracket inside first. So we have 25, x to the power of 4, x to the power of minus 6, we got x to the power of 10 at the top. And y to the minus 5, put it down, y to the power of 8 at the bottom. And we got 2/3. Now we take the half into the bracket. We have 25 to the power of half, x to the power of 10 over 2, y to the power of 8 over 2, and the 3 is outside here. Now 25 to the power of half, this means the square root of 25 is 5, and x to the power of 10 over 2 is x to the power of 5 over y to the power of 4, all together to the power of 3. We have 5 to the power of 3, 125, and x to the power of 15, y to the power of 12. This is the answer. So after this 4 example, I think you have already familiar with the rules of the exponent number. The first one is the product rule, the second one the quotient rule, the third one power rule, powers of 0, negative exponents, fractional exponent, distributes and exponents over product, distributes and exponent over a quotient. It's 5 for this lesson. We will go to the next lesson and we will talk about the simplifiers of the radical number in the next lesson. Thank you and enjoy this video. Bye bye.